Đấy, đúng là
Okay, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry, due to some network issues, actually we got delayed. Okay, no issue. Very good afternoon to one and all. And today we are moving to the another topic of our last unit, that is design, planning, and layout of the high voltage laboratories. So in that already we had covered the point like what are the test facilities provided in high voltage laboratories, what kind of activities and studies that has to be conducted into the high voltage laboratory, as well as we had seen yesterday that small size, medium size, as well as large size laboratories. So that classification we have already understood. Then today we are moving towards the important topic, that is about the size and rating of the high voltage laboratories. So what kind of the size, what should be the ratings of the equipments, or what should be the ratings of the high voltage apparatus that should be considered. So that all things we will understand today's lecture. So before going for that, we'll understand the, in case of the size and ratings of the high voltage laboratories, what are the different parameters like a withstand voltage, like a test voltage, and also the rating of equipments in a high voltage laboratory. So first of all, whatever be the ratings and the size of the test equipment that we are going to choose, that into the HV laboratories or high voltage laboratory, that mostly depends on what kind of test facilities we are offering or we are providing. So in normal design of the laboratories, we know that there is around to 30 kilovolt system, as well as below that voltage also we cannot have any problems. And in such kind of laboratories where we have estimated around 400 kV and above that requirement, we will go for the medium size as well as large size laboratories. So for the laboratories which are we are going for the testing purposes, or we will use for the testing purposes, so that testing purposes are certainly used for the research as well as development work. And in that cases, we will have the whatever voltage level that are we requiring, it is around 13 times to the maximum test voltage of the needed. So whatever be the intention of the laboratory installation for the different system voltages, that should have some test voltages, and that test voltages for the AC system you can see in this number one table, that whatever be the test voltage for the AC system, or whatever be the equipments that are used being there. So if suppose the system's nominal voltage is around 400 kV, then for this 400 kV, whatever be the line to ground voltage, that should be around 335 kV. That should be the maximum value. Then power frequency withstand voltage should be around 530 kilovolt, as well as whatever be the impulse withstand voltage, that is around 1425, means around 3 times of these nominal voltage. Switching surge voltage with the standard voltage, that should be around 2.1 times of the nominal voltage, and the pollution test voltage should be 280 kV, that is the RMS value. So similarly, like that way for vertical various nominal voltages like 525, 765, 1100 and 1500 kV. So for all that things, we have the test voltages for the equipments, and we will understand that properly. Okay, so whatever be the values or the nominal values that we are considering, that again we will understand with the help of whatever be the line ground voltages are there, then whatever be the power frequencies are given. So from all these values we will understand, or we will take advantage of the impulse voltages as well as switching surge voltages. So once we know these values of the voltages, then it is very easier for us to get proper testing of each and every equipments. Okay, so like a similar way we can understand in case of the another DC systems, like already we had seen in an AC system. So currently we can see into the DC system also. So in a DC system we can understand there is again nominal voltage which is around 400, 600 and 800 plus or minus nominal voltage, that is into kV. And for that again there is a stand voltage, means whatever be the 800 it's double, almost double. So this is the stand voltage. Okay, so for this standing voltage we should understand that these voltages are very important, because if suppose there is a reverse parallel polarity, that time also there is some range of the voltage, that is around 600, 900, 1200, that is plus or minus values. Again, as usual in AC system, as we had seen, whatever be the for nominal voltages, there is a impulse withstand voltages. So here also in DC system there is a 1350 kV for the 400 kilovolt nominal system, then 1900 and 2300, that is for the 600 and 800 respectively. So whenever there will be a switching surges or there is a lightning strokes, at that time there should be some stand voltage which having a maximum value for the 400 will be equal to 1000. Then for the 600 that will be the 1500, and for the 800 that will be 2000. So that means 2.5 times to the nominal voltage, means 2.5 times to the 400. Then pollution test voltage should be always greater than 10%. It should be always greater than 10% of the nominal voltage, means 400 and it's a 10% will be 40. So 440 will be 440, that is equal to 440. Like that way, another way we can think about the other voltages, other nominal voltages also. So we can see this is number 2, table number 2. Then we'll think about the table number 3. That table number 3 is in front of you, which is required. So here that test voltages are required for the different system voltages as a AC system, and also the test required for the different system voltage for the DC we will see in a number 4 table. Okay, so now in case of the number 3, here we will have the value where we can see that nominal voltage is again 400, 765, 1100, 1500, that is into again range value. Okay, so that range value we have to think in this case, whatever be the power frequency voltage is there, that is almost 1 or 1.5 times to the nominal voltage. Then pollution test voltage is around a 75% of these nominal voltage, as well as whatever be the impulse standard voltage, that is around 4 to 5 times to the, or sometimes 3 to 4 times to the nominal voltages. So as compared to these, you can see these all values are around 2 to 3 times of the nominal voltage. And again, as we know that switching surge voltage, that should be around 2.5 times to the nominal voltage. So as to compare to this, here you can see 1.5 to 2.5 times of the nominal voltage that switching surge value is available. Then in a test voltages that is required in a case of the DC system, again in such cases there is a similar thing that already we had understood, and again we will repeat that one. 400, 600, 800, for that purpose the DC voltage that is for the withstand, that should be double. So means if you are taking a test of nominal voltage of 400, then your test voltage should be around 800 volts. So they can easily apply the 400 on the equipment, and you can get proper quality assured equipment, or we can say apparatus. So again, there is a pollution test voltage as well as impulse standard voltages. So all these values are in a kV. Again, I'm repeating, these values are in a kV, kilovolt, and also somewhere having a RMS value, somewhere having a peak value. So that means whenever we will think about the instantaneous values for the particular moment of a particular instant, that time you should consider the RMS value, and for a impulse, that mean it is having a maximum value for an instance, that means a peak value. So again, switching surges are around 2 to 3 times to the nominal voltages. So all that tables we have discussed here for the withstand voltage, test voltage, and somehow the rating of the equipments which has to be into the which has to be used in a high voltage laboratories. Then this, whatever be the high voltage laboratories we are discussing, that has to be having intention for the system voltage which will around the 400 kV or less than the whatever be extra high voltage rated equipments that are necessary. So in such cases, whatever be the insulation levels which is need to be have for these 400 kV system, that insulation levels should be given below, like for the impulse withstand voltage, that means line to earth, that is around 1425 kilovolt, which is a peak value. Then standard impulse voltage, that is means phase to phase, that is again 1640 kilovolt. Okay, then power frequency voltages, that is for the 1 minute drive, that is 600 kV. Then for the momentary drive, that is 800 kV, and all these values are RMS. For the 30 seconds wait, that is 630 kV. So whatever the corona level which we are going to see or experience, in such cases that visible corona level will be around 320 kV RMS value. So whatever be the data we are having above, that data can show us whatever be the factor is there, that should be more than of the three, more than the three, or we can say three times to the impulse voltage, and 2 or 2.5 times for the power frequency voltage. So that means we can say it will have highest line to ground peak voltages, and that all voltages should be adopted by the system of 400 kV, or we can say less than that value. So hence, whatever be the rating of the equipment we are thinking about, it should be have around 900 kV, and that is again in a RMS. And for the power frequency voltages, that should be around 200 kV. So that should be your impulse voltage. Why? Because 1640 kV is your peak value. So above that, there should be a 200 kV. So if suppose whatever be the equipments we are having and their rating should be less, that time whatever be the intention of laboratory, which is around 132 kV or 230 kV, then that may be a targeted test voltage should be available, and due to that, or with the help of this test voltages, we can take easier test on the whatever be electrical equipments that are available in a high voltage laboratory. Okay, so I think it is clear to everyone, and now we'll move towards the next point, and which will shows us that is about the voltage and power rating of a test equipment. So what should be these voltage and power equipment power ratings? Anyone, can you tell me what does it mean? What does it mean? High voltage DC tests are performed using cascaded rectifiers. So already we had seen that voltage and power rating of test equipments means how much voltage that can afford. That is the first case. Second thing, how much the power that is going to deliver. It is the second thing or second case, right? Then fourth case, that is a third case, that is the frequency. Then fourth case, that is again the impulse voltages. So all these ratings of the test equipment should be known to us, and for that way we will understand whatever be the testings methods are there. There are major four types of this voltage and power rating to identify. Now we'll understand whatever be the DC testing equipment. So what does it mean, DC testing equipment? So as already we know that DC means whatever be the equipment that are used to convert alternating into DC, that is a rectifiers. So if suppose I want a very small voltage, that time I can just convert that small AC voltage to the DC by using the rectifier. But if suppose I need a maximum voltage, high voltage, that time what I will do, at that moment I will just add more and more rectifiers in a series with the one, and that means you will get the cascaded rectifier. So at that time, something, whatever be the operation that we are thinking, that will be a careful. Then okay, so in such cases, what kind of necessary conditions or necessary precautions you are going to take? So when we are taking a test in case of the, okay, just a minute. Okay, whether my screen is visible to you or not? Hello.
Visible.
Okay, which slide you are seeing right now?
Voltage and power rating of test.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, fine. There is some technical issues. Okay, now it is okay, I think. And I hope you are seeing that voltage and power rating slide, right? Fine. So as we were discussing that in case of the high voltage testing or DC testing is a point of concern, then whatever be the rectifiers are there, that should be connected in a series, and due to that you will get the cascaded rectifiers. So what should be the precautions we need to take during the test? Like a test, we are taking that pollution insulation test. So at that time in pollution or polluted insulations, at that time we require only 50 to 200 milliampere. So in such cases, there should be a strong discharge, or we can say the previously it should be have discharge, and the streaming should around a 0.5 to 1 ampere, and that should be into milliamperes. Or we can say whenever some time duration, that means for milliseconds or for some microseconds, this event is occurring for that duration purpose, then we can say that whatever be the test voltage is there, that should have to maintain for the voltage drop, and due to that there may be some adequate equal internal reactance value should be occurs. And as already we had seen the voltage rating in last table, that power rating that should be vary from a few kilovolt watt to the few hundred kilowatt. So depends on the rating. If suppose my voltage and current rating are changed, then my power rating will obviously going to change. So in case of the power frequency testing equipment, in such cases, as we know that there is a flashover occurring on the insulator, or we can say suppose in a oil or in a air immersed or some fluid, that is depending on the whatever be the supply of system at that time, whatever be the voltage is there, that will may drop, and that may get disturbed due to the pre-discharge, and that is happening before the breakdown. So that breakdown will not occur properly, and at that moment you will see that whatever be the capacitance value around 1000 picofarad, or we can say more in a parallel, that should be needed. Why? Because to determine the real flashed, and we can say real flash, or we can say there is a puncture voltage. Okay, so it is very simple, and it is a very knowledgeable thing that we are going to understand. So in such cases you should keep in mind that whatever be the capacitors are there, if suppose we are arranging them into parallel, and then we are energizing the insulator, then we can say whatever be the values that are we are adopting, that should be have to supply the clean supply, or we can say clean amperes for this polluted insulator. And at around this test level, if suppose we are conducting a short circuit test on this equipment, then it should provide a proper current as well as proper supply to these equipment. So this is all about the power frequency testing equipments, right? So let us move towards again the yeah. So in these cases, as whatever be the values I was talking about, the self capacitance for the different equipments, so that here we can see that insulators which are less than 100 picofarad, then whatever be the values for the bushings, so that should be around 100 to 400 picofarad. CT, that CT is again having a self capacitance value of 200 to 600 picofarad. Then the power transformer, which is around 1 megavolt ampere and above its rating, so that should again have the 1000 to 8000 picofarad. Then cables for the 10-meter length, that should be the 1000 to 300,000 picofarad. So like such that we can understand whatever be the output of such kind of testing transformer, that can be identified. P is equal to 2 pi fc. So you can write it down. 2 pi fc. F stands for the frequency, C stands for the capacitance, and V is nothing but what? That test voltage at the transformer terminals, which is appears in a kV. So with the help of these, we can easily find out the value for output of testing transformer. So this testing transformer the testing transformer which we are considering here and which having a self capacitance value and the capacitance of the various high voltages leads, or we can see these bushings here, we can understand that should be included when we are determining the equivalent load capacitance, and that we can understand it should have around the testing transformer should have around rating in a kVAs, as well as we can approximately take in it into the volt amperes only, right? So this is the second case that we were talking about the power frequency. Then third case, that is again about the impulse generator. So again, already this part we had already covered, but for this part we will understood what does it means and what kind of the things we have to think about. So in case of the impulse generator, the important thing that whatever be the maximum charging voltage, so means for this IVG, impulse voltage generator. So for this IVG, whatever be the voltage is required, that is again multiply by the number of stages, and whenever we are multiplying it to the number of stages, at that time whatever be the peak value we are getting for these 5 stages, or we can say uh, impulse voltages around the 5 stages, that should have time wave up according to the 1.2 by 50, or we can say 1.5 or 1.2 by the 50 microsecond. So in such cases, a little bit we can understand that it should be given by the Vs is equal to NVDC 0.95 minus CL by CL plus CG. So what does it means? These are the values where we can understand this. N is nothing but number of stages. VDC stands for the charging voltage. Then CL stands for the load capacitance, and the CG stands for the generator capacitance. So all the values are very crystal and clear. But one thing we should understand, that whatever be the ratio of generator capacitance and to the load capacitance, that should be greater than equal to 5. Why? Because we need to, or whatever be the peak value of the impulse voltage generator and output voltage for that one, that should be greater than equal to 0.7 NVDC. So in another level, we can understand that whatever be the generator is there, that rating should be at least 1.3 times more than the desired output. It should be more than this to the desired the output. Okay, so this is all about the uh, impulse generator, and its maximum voltage can be given by the W is equal to 1 by 2 CG, that again capacitance of generator, V square, that is again total charging voltage, and the 10 raised to minus 9. So this is all about the equation for the calculation of maximum voltage rating. Okay, then we'll understand in a test transformer, as we already know that there is a largest capacitance, and in this large capacitance we know that whatever be the generator capacitance that is connected, that is in a picofarads, around 30 to 40,000 picofarad, that is again required. And we can say there is a simple calculation, and which can show us that whatever be the 135 microsecond is required for at least 3 megavolt generator or IVG. So if, as per the Indian electricity standards or specification, that impulse wave shape should to be maintained at around 3 megavolt impulse generator. So whatever be the minimum rating for this impulse generator, we can say around 6 megawatt megavolt, and that generator will have the energy specification around 600 kg. So it should have 600 kilojoule. Then we can conclude that at a particular moment, we can say for the impulse generator, whatever be the energy that is given into the kilojoule should be equal to 0.1 times to the voltage rating in a kV. So this is all about the impulse generator. Okay, so if you want, please take a note of these calculations here. Calculations लिहून घ्या. Okay, done. लिहिलंय का? Yes or no? Am I audible? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So since last 5 minutes, I am asking that whether it is clear or not. Have you written that equations? Again, I am asking you whether you have written these equations. Okay, fine. Thank you for response. Okay, and the fourth point in this voltage and power rating, that is again other high voltage testing devices. And in these other high voltage testing devices, whatever be the impulse current generated ICG, then the arresters and all the parameters like a high voltage steering breeze and for the dielectric testing, all that has been used. Then in this impulse current generator, we can talk about the current that should be around 100 to 250 kiloampere with an energy around 50 to 100 kg. So in such cases, we can understand there should be a there should be a lightning strokes, and due to that lightning strokes, there may be a heavy current and there should be a partial discharge that is required, and RIV, that is the whatever be the we can say okay. Main thing is that whenever there is a lightning stroke or due to the heavy high current, there may be there is a requirement of the RIV as well as the partial discharge, and as comparing to testing transformer, there should be some internal discharges, and we should have this system free from these discharges. So there should be a detection equipments that are capable to detect around 0.01 picocoulomb of charge, that is, we can say, in a test object capacitance or of 100 picofarad or 2 to 3 picofarad at 1 microfarad test capacitance. So whenever test transformer we are considering for the internal discharges, at that time there should be a specific voltage level, and in such cases we can say their internal discharge should be less than 5 picocoulomb to the at a 500 kV. So in such certain situations, when we will use the spare gaps, at that time whatever be the size and the rating of these whatever equipments we are using, at that moment we should keep into mind that whatever be the spark gaps as well as sparking distance, that should be less than the 0.5 times to the diameter of whatever spares has been used, right? So in such cases already we have some specific requirements as per the Indian standards, and that are given in front of you. We can see that into Indian standards 1876 to 1961, in that specification they had already mentioned all the things regarding the testing transformers, right? So this is all about the sizing and ratings. So by next lecture we'll move towards the whatever be grounding of the high voltage laboratory. That things we will go for the next lecture. So we will stop today for this lecture. Let me take attendance. Okay, now you can leave a class.